Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is April 12th, 2025, and negotiations have begun to extend the contract of Hansi Flick. Also, Inigo Martinez has been cleared by La Liga in regards to that Osasuna complaint. And finally, Tottenham Hotspur are eyeing Eric Garcia. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and I'm bringing you this super duper, uber, boober late video. It's 2 a.m. here. I know I didn't do the podcast on Friday. I do apologize. I had a work event. I finished work. I went to the work event, and I just got home about an hour ago. I was ready to go to bed, but I said, no, Mo, don't be lazy. You have to do at least one news video. So here I am, ready to bring you all Barcelona news. Anyways, let's begin with tragic news because on Thursday, news rocked the world, or at least here in New York City, because a helicopter carrying 5 Spanish tourists plunged into the Hudson River, killing everybody aboard, including the pilot. There's actually footage of the helicopter, which I'm going to share with you. Now, be warned, it is a little bit distressing, but this is the footage of a helicopter that disintegrated in the sky, fell into the Hudson River, and again, killing everybody on board, including 5 Spanish tourists. That was a husband, a wife, and their 3 kids. Now, you might say, Mo, why do we care about this? How is this related to Barcelona? Well, this is the family that you see here. There's a husband, the wife, the 3 kids. And well, it's related to Barcelona because today they released the names of the victims, and the name of the wife is Marce Camprubí Montal. Now, as soon as I heard that name, it clicked the bell in my head, and I had to do some Googling because we've heard that last name before. We've heard it here on the channel because we've talked about it, and we've talked about, well, Joan Camprubí Montal, who is the head of El Som Un Clan party, who is one of the potential candidates against Joan Laporta in the next presidential election. Someone who comes from a legendary family. His grandfather was Agustí Montal, who's credited, who was a president of Barcelona, was credited of bringing Johan Cruyff to the club and kind of like making Barcelona into a world powerhouse. His great grandfather, also named Agustí Montal, he's the Barcelona president that acquired the land for the Camp Nou, where the Camp Nou is currently built. And while I did some Googling, and lo and behold, the deceased Marce Camprubí Montal is actually the sister of Joan Camprubí Montal. So definitely tragic and unfortunate news for the Camprubí Montal family. So my condolences to that family, and my thoughts and prayers go to them for this horrific tragedy where Marce Camprubí Montal unfortunately lost her life at the age of 40, very, very young. She was actually celebrating her birthday. So really tragic news on that front, which affects our FC Barcelona family. Now, from this tragic news, we move on to the next bit of news because, as you know, we're hours away from the match against Leganés, and today the team did their final training ahead of tomorrow's match, or I should say today's match, since it's already Saturday. A match that's not expected to be easy, as you know, Leganés might be fighting for to avoid relegation, but let's not forget they did beat us during the first half of the season. They beat Atletico de Madrid, and they made Real Madrid's life pretty hard when they played against them. So it's not going to be an easy match, but nonetheless, I trust in Flick and I trust in our team that they'll be able to pull this victory. And while the news in regards to the training session is that Dani Olmo was seen today doing part of his training with the group, which means that he is recovering pretty well. They're stating that he could be ready for the second leg against Dortmund in the Champions League. However, most likely Hansi Flick is not going to risk him because, after all, we did beat Dortmund 4-0 in the first leg. So given the big goal difference, Flick most likely will not risk him, but he will be ready for the following match, the next weekend, which, if I'm not mistaken, is against Celta Vigo, which, of course, it is expected that he'll get some minutes in preparation, of course, of the upcoming Copa del Rey final, which will be against Real Madrid. Now, another player that also did group training was, of course, Marter Stegen, who continues to train with the group, which, of course, indicates that our captain, our German goalkeeper, will be back by before the end of the season, which, of course, is a huge boost for Flick, a huge boost for the team as well, especially the locker room, because we all know how Ter Stegen is an absolute leader within the locker room. Now, on to the next bit of news, because as always, Hansi Flick participated in a pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow or today's match against Leganés, and of course, he was asked about his contract renewal. And well, this is what Hansi Flick had to say. My answer will be rather lengthy. I really appreciate and enjoy what I have here with a magnificent staff and fantastic experts and doctors. Very professional players, and they have the mentality to improve every day. It's unique in my professional career. There's a fantastic atmosphere. It's a family. All the staff at the club are amazing, and it's fantastic. I enjoy Barcelona and its people. It's a new experience for me. I have a lot of energy, and I'm thinking about what I can do to improve. But now we are starting the project. I am not a coach who thinks about the next 3 years. What I like is to work for the best club in the world, and I appreciate what is here. The situation at the club is not easy, but we are all doing our best. That's the situation now. I have 1 year left, and if things go well, another one. That's my way of thinking. Step by step, year by year. I don't think we're not finished. I don't know how long we'll have left, but I want to finish my work here on a good note. Besides, my assistants are happy. We have to focus on the season because there are a lot of things to do. First Leganés and then Dortmund. So Hansi Flick pretty much stating, hey, I'm not thinking about my contract renewal. I want to do a great job, and he wants to go year by year. If this year he does great, we'll look to the next one. If the next one he does great, then we'll look to the next one. And also talking about how happy he is being the coach of Barcelona, how amazing everyone is, and of course, how amazing are the players and how everyone is doing their best. And I have to say, how refreshing it is that we have a coach that actually loves his job, because, if you might recall, Xabi used to tell us how hell it was to be a Barcelona coach. Koeman used to tell us how impossible it was to be a Barcelona coach, but here we have a coach who actually loves his job. It's pretty refreshing. And not to mention Hansi Flick saying, hey, things are difficult, but we're working with what we have, versus Koeman and Xabi, who always used to tell us, well, this is what we have, so there's not much we could do. But Flick is like, oh, this is what we have, and it's freaking great. So pretty refreshing, but Hansi Flick wants to take it year by year, and the news is that negotiations have begun with Hansi Flick's representative, Pini Zahavi, to extend his contract. As you know, his contract expires in 2026. Of course, the club want to extend it as a thank you for all the amazing work that Hansi Flick is doing, and I hope Hansi Flick stays for the next 10, 20, 30 years, which, of course, is not going to happen. He already has said that he wants to retire pretty soon. He wants to spend time with his family, but the longer we have him, of course, the better. Now, on to the next news, and this is a good one because La Liga have decided to clear Inigo Martinez. As you might recall, after the Osasuna match, Osasuna filed an appeal saying that Inigo Martinez should not have been included in the lineup because there's a FIFA rule that prevents players who are playing who get called up to their national squads from playing for their current clubs during the international break and 5 days after. And of course, this is to prevent clubs from refusing to release players, and it also to prevent players from refusing the call up to their national team, something that people always say, why don't Barcelona players refuse to go? Well, they can't, and there's also punishments for that. And this rule is one of those punishments. Well, of course, Barcelona argued that, Inigo did not refuse to go. He simply got injured, and the Spanish national team, they released him, and of course they called up Dean Huijsen in his place. The Royal Spanish Football Federation had agreed with Barcelona, FIFA had agreed with Barcelona, and well, today La Liga's disciplinary body agreed with Barcelona, and Osasuna's complaint has been dismissed. Now, there are reports saying that Osasuna could consider appealing this, but come on, Osasuna, let's not follow the footsteps of Javier Tebas and start collecting L's. You already collected an L on the field. You collected an L in front of La Liga disciplinary body. Let's not make it a tribal of L's, okay? But anyways, the last bit of news is in regards to Eric Garcia, because Tottenham Hotspur would like to sign the Barcelona player. Of course, Eric Garcia's contract expires in 2026, so this summer he'll be entering the final year of his contract. And Tottenham Hotspur are intending to try to, negotiate a low transfer fee, given that he will enter his final year. But as you know from my previous videos, Hansi Flick has already requested that Barcelona extend the contract of Eric Garcia. First, he blocked his move during the winter transfer market. Girona were interested in loaning him. He said, no, I want to keep him on my team. And now Flick asking Barcelona to extend the contract of Eric Garcia because he considers him an asset. So it looks like Eric Garcia will be staying put. Anyways, that is all the news. I'm going to go to bed. It's 2 a.m. I got to go to sleep. And then tomorrow, match against Leganés. I'm going to do a match watch along. I know I haven't done those in a while. So hopefully I'll see you guys during the watch along stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca Barça.